So the first round of the double sculls here with the Olympic lightweight men's champions on the left of your screen.
Go!
And Leander and Redding, heavyweight talent on the right, and away they go.
Brilliant tight racing from both, high rating from the Irish straight away. They mean business. They've got that Tokyo racing experience and they've come here to get more races.
Now, however much celebrating they've been doing, you can see on those two faces that they absolutely mean business. Off at a fantastic race of striking. Their Tokyo race and pace and stroke rate was absolutely blistering. And if you're up against the Olympic champions, even though they're lightweights, the heavyweight guys have got to have their heads screwed on really well here to not lose their nerve and to do the best they can to use the advantages they've got in their favour.
Exactly, so the advantage they have are weight and that extra power and of course knowledge of this course. So steering really well there and a really powerful start from Sam and Charles. They know that they have to be on the metal right from the first stroke.
Yeah, and they're sculling pretty well, aren't they? You know, having brought this crew together and trained specifically for Henley, they've got absolute focus in this first round of the double sculls, and they're sculling stroke for stroke, and there's nothing in it. From the side shot here from our catamaran, about 300 metres into this course, they're both going to be trying to change gear. That's the 400-metre mark roughly. As they're changing gear, it looks like the lightweights are nudging in front.
So I think as they changed gear, you saw the rate drop a little bit with Sam and Charles, and at that point the rate was still high, the length was still long in the Irish crew, and they are now just starting to edge ahead.
Yeah, absolute focus on both of their faces. Fintan McCarthy, Olympic gold medal tucked away somewhere, sitting in the bow seat. Paul O'Donovan, no stranger to this track. Last time he was at Henley, as we said, he went down to Leander, Jack Beaumont and Angus Groom, who formed the nucleus of the successful silver medal GB quad this year. So the heavyweights on that occasion had it, but right now, well, the lightweights are having it their own way, absolutely on the bounce off that Tokyo race.
This is tough going now for Sam and Charles. They will have done an absolute storm of a start as they did, full power to use that advantage to hold them off the start, and they were absolutely level coming out the island, but the raciness of the Irish crew is starting to tell.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a lightweight and you're trying to move a boat like this, you've really got to sort of tap it along super efficiently, and I think these two Irish rowers have really showed the world how to do that. The O'Donovan brothers, of course, were here last time, and in this Olympic cycle, Gary, who's racing here at Henley, also, he loves it as well, has moved out, was in the reserve crew, and Finley moved in, and that allowed, well, more progress, and really welcomed the change in the boat speed and the change that they got out of that to achieve the Olympic success here. So here we are, and on the right of the picture, the reigning Olympic champions, newly crowned, are going to be warned by the umpire, the vertical flag, and then warning them to move away from the centre of the track. 24 metres to play with here, but it seems a lot less than that when you're in the boat.
So it's a bit of a headwind today, so it will feel a long way, and it is, of course, quite bouncy, quite poppily out there, but these Irish rowers, they've had good experience of at least poppily water, if not more, in Tokyo, where we saw pretty bouncy conditions in their final, and they handled that superbly. Absolutely,
and Fintan McCarthy just looks across, makes sure he's in the right station now. They've got the perfect line, so well corrected by him, and sometimes get a little bit tricky, as we said, Kath, absolutely there.
Very exciting for them. It's their first gold medal in rowing for Ireland since 2012, and it's only the 10th in total for Ireland at all in Olympics. So it's their first, you know, in rowing. It's just so exciting for them to do that. And you know, when they were interviewed afterwards by the BBC about how did it feel to win gold, they were just super cool, relaxed, humour, wit, wonderful Irish accents, as they said. It's all right, yeah, you can't complain about it really, but I wouldn't go around introducing myself like that.
Yeah, just hear the umpire warning Skibbereen, that's Skibbereen Rowing Club and University College Court. Fintan again glances and just moves the boat away from the centre line there. Make sure they're nice and straight, doesn't want the umpire to be disturbed anymore. We can see Sam Townsend in the black there, just keeping a glance over his shoulder, trying to stay in contact. And actually, I think that the heavyweights on the left of our picture have had another attack, and they're trying to get back on terms, see if those boats are overlapping as we come to the middle of the course.
They're doing a good job, Sam and Charles, really coherent in their parallel oars, in the power that's going down, the consistent rhythm. They dropped that rate early because they knew that's what they had to do to maintain the speed over the course. But of course, we have a huge amount of experience and canniness in that Irish crew, so I think they're also not going to want to do more than they need to.
absolutely experienced and canonist, but in the heavyweight crew, we've got Redding and Leander. They have 15 Henley appearances between them. That counts for something. They know exactly where they are on the course. The Irish double, maybe less familiar with it, and that gives you a little bit of advantage. The heavyweights, as they come into a section of the course that's been a bit windier, Kath, through the day, have a chance to push on and use their weight advantage, and that's what they're going to need to do if they're going to change the outcome as it stands currently.
They're doing a great job, aren't they, Sam and Charles? Really consistent rowing there, and they know each other so well, having come through the GB Start programme at the same time. Charles was based at Rob Roy Club and Sam Townsend was at Reading, but they then raced together in under-23 squads. They raced as juniors before that and then in the seniors, so they know each other well.
Yeah, well, I think they're attacking hard as well, and you can see some response here from Frinton and Paul pushing on. They've got plenty of room to go up in that rate, as we saw in Tokyo, and I think they've responded to the push from the heavier crew, and now you see them lifting the rate up. It's pure joy watching this double scull, isn't it?
So supreme. It's really powerful for a lightweight crew. They are rowing it like any heavyweight would row it. I mean, it's just supreme, really impressive, and you can see everyone rushing to the bank because they want to see the newly crowned Tokyo Olympic champions on the Henley course.
Yeah, and this is why they want to be at Henley. Look at that setting. It's absolutely unique. 182 years of well-fought rowing all the way down here. Having tasted the Henley experience quite recently, straight from Rio into Henley, you can see Paul O'Donovan starting to puff a little bit in the final stages of this race. It's not been a walkover by any means, my goodness. It's a good, hard-fought race, and the lightweights continue to dominate over the two athletes from Reading and Leander on the home stretch of the Leander Club coming into the last few strokes.
Impressive rowing there. Really, they're going to love the crowds. They're going to the Irish Rowing Champions later this month. They wanted to come to Henley Royal Regatta. We're so lucky, but privileged to see them. What a supreme crew.
Well, they're chucking everything in now, Sam and Charlie, moving to the centre of the course. The crews are coming together, but I don't think it's going to affect the outcome of the last 4 or 5 strokes. And we've got Fintan McCarthy, Paul O'Donovan, the gold medalists from Tokyo, overlapping at the finish. Fantastic performance too from Sam Townsend and Charlie Cousins of Reading and Leander. But the Irish have it. The gold medalist from Tokyo, thumbs up from Paul, nod of acknowledgement from Fintan. What a way to start our afternoon shift here at Henley.